Hi guys, it's Alexis from Synonyms for Happiness, and today I'm going to do a little bit of a garden update, and we're going to be transplanting some more seedlings. So let's get to it. As you can see, our garden here is looking pretty good. And I realized that the cabbages are actually really close to each other, but I was just doing this in a hurry, and I'm just going to leave them in there because they're doing okay now. So we're just going to see how they do like that. As you can see, some of the lettuce isn't doing so good anymore. Christian actually stomped on some, and some of them just didn't make it. But they're perking back up now, and the ones that are in there are doing really good. So let's get to transplanting our other seedlings and take a look at what we got here. These are our other seedlings. Let me see if I can turn you guys around here. These are our other seedlings. Let's see what we got. Let's look at the chart that I've done on here. Let's see. So we have 2 pea plants. This one's starting to come up over here. And we have this one. And then we have 3 zucchini plants, which, let's see, we only have one of those up. Yeah, one of those. Oh, nope, 2 of those. So 2 of the zucchinis are supposed to go in pots, but I think I am just going to go ahead and plant them out. And then, let's see, we have a watermelon, which has not sprouted yet. We have another zucchini plant right here. And that's all we got. So we just got a couple pea plants and 3 zucchini plants. So that's what we're going to be planting out today. Hopefully the rest of this stuff will start to sprout. It looks like we're starting to get a little bit of a sprout over here. And that one, let's see what that one is. That one's also going to be a zucchini. But it's kind of hard to tell, honestly, because it's kind of hard to tell what these sprouts are going to be, because this whole little egg carton actually got flipped upside down by my toddler, which is kind of humorous but kind of not. You know, I mean, I was kind of upset about it, but whatever. It is what it is. You know, we got to work with what we got. We're just kind of all experimenting this year, and hopefully we can get a good harvest out of this. If not, like I said, my mom is planting a garden of her own, and she usually has a ton of extras, so we will definitely still have some veggies that are homegrown this year, even if our garden doesn't work out. But yeah, I'll talk to you a little more about how our cabbage and lettuce are doing, but first I am gonna transplant these seedlings we have. Okay guys, I'm gonna have to hold you all today, and hopefully I can get some sort of a tripod or something so I can get the angles on these videos a little bit better for you all. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna give the ground a little bit of a watering. Like I said, I do have a watering can, but it's just a little bit small, so I usually don't even bother bringing it out. I just usually fill up a jar or a water bottle or something with some water and just do that. Just makes it so much easier. And we have been getting a lot of rain, so I'm 100% certain that there is already enough moisture in the ground, because it has been just storming and raining every single night here. And yeah, I'm positive these plants will have enough water. So let's take a look at our root system here. Oh, that looks so good. That's gonna be a strong seedling. So we're gonna go ahead, plop that little guy down there, make a little hole. I don't really have a shovel or a little trowel or anything to do this with, so I'm just doing it with my hands, which is all right. You know, we're gonna plan on doing a no-dig garden anyway, and we just want to pile up some dirt around there and make sure that seedling is nice and supported. And that was a zucchini plant. So our zucchinis are doing really good already, you guys, which is no surprise to me. I kind of figured they would do really good. They always do really good in this area, it seems, and that's awesome because I love zucchini. I love to eat zucchini in all kinds of ways, sauteed, baked, you name it. I love it. So I'm so glad these seedlings are doing great. Here's our 3rd zucchini. Hopefully I'm planting these guys far enough apart. I mean, I'm not 100% sure because I didn't bring the packet outside with me, but I figure if they're a little close, that'll be okay too. I'm not super concerned about it, truthfully, seeing as this garden this year is just kind of a little bit of an experiment. So if it doesn't work out, I'll learn something. Let's go look at our root system on our pea plant. And this, I know for sure, is a bush variety. So I know it's going to be a little bit smaller. So all these varieties are a little bit smaller than they regularly are. So that's going to be great, especially since we're working in such a small space. We'll see if those zucchinis are going to wind up being too close or not. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to water another section of our garden here. Saturate the soil a little bit. Get in our pea plants. And I really wanted to get one of the ones that like had like the rain spout on it. But I just could, believe it or not, you guys, I could not find a watering can with like the rain spout on it, so it doesn't like just splash on the ground in one big stream. But once again, that's what we got, so that's what we're going to use and work with. So hopefully everything will take off. I think hopefully it rains pretty soon here, and we can get all these plants really settled in, because I've noticed that typically the plants do okay, you know, just saturating the ground really good before you put them in, but they really start to shine after it rains. So like I said, hopefully it'll rain and we can get these plants really settled in and really doing well. So I kind of try to keep that just barely coming up the dirt like it was. And what I'm doing when I'm making these holes is I'm just like wiggling my fingers back and forth in the soil to kind of make like a little divot, like that. Just big enough for the seedling to go into. That one's a little deep for this one, but yeah, just big enough for the little seedling to go into. And we'll cover it up, just kind of like it was in our carton here. Like I said, I'm fairly certain of what these are, but I'm not 100%. This carton got flipped upside down, so when I opened it one time, I actually found a seed just kind of floating around. I just kind of took a guess of what it could have been, but it really could have been 3 different things. I'm not sure what variety of zucchinis these are, if they're the ones that are supposed to go in the pot, or if the ones that are supposed to go on the ground, or if it's a pumpkin seed. I know I have one of those planted in here, I think. And like I said, I'm not too concerned about it, because I know all these seeds that I got are small varieties, so I'm hoping that these are all planted far enough apart. We're just gonna live and learn, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna see if this works. I hope it does, and if it does, I know we're at least gonna give it a little bit, because plants actually, even if they aren't in the most ideal conditions they'd like to be in, they'll still grow somewhat. Like, we used to have plants that I kept on the porch over here, and obviously our porch doesn't get full sun, but they still produced a little. I think I got like 2 very small zucchinis and a handful of cherry tomatoes when we did that, but I was just so pregnant, I didn't really even feel like getting out and moving those plants every morning and every evening, keeping up with the watering and keeping up with going to your weekly appointments. So I just left them up there, and they produced a little. I mean, that's not what you want, but they'll still produce a little bit, and you'll learn a little bit too. Even if your first gardening experience isn't ideal, you guys can still learn things which are going to help you when you actually get a garden space that is more ideal and more space to work with. So don't think, guys, just because you have a small garden space or that you have the unideal garden space, that you shouldn't garden at all. You guys can actually learn some very valuable lessons from these things. For example, like, we're working in this small bed, and it's obviously not ideal for us. It's under a tree, it's small. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to put all the plants we want in here, but we're going to try. And we're going to see how it goes, and hopefully it'll at least produce a little for us, and we'll learn a whole lot along the way. So when we're ready to actually have a big farm or a big garden or a big homestead or just a regular garden, we'll know things that we wouldn't have known, and we wouldn't have to have so much waste as if we were to start with a huge garden, not know anything, and have a ton of waste because of it. But because we're starting small, we're only going to waste a little bit if these plants don't produce. And truthfully, if these plants don't produce any vegetables for us, them being here and growing and then just letting them die there and go return to the soil is still good for the soil. It's still good for the environment. It's not to say that it's 100% waste just because we didn't get something from it. There are a ton of things that you can learn, and it'll still be good for the soil even if you don't get a lot of return on it. And hopefully we'll learn something new, we'll get some great ideas, and we'll try it again next year. So don't be afraid to try new things, guys, especially if you have something that is unideal in a small space, just not what you want, but you still want to do it. Never let perfection stop trying or learning. Never let perfection stop you from trying things. Okay, you always need to try new things. If there's something you're interested in trying, do it. Even if you don't have all the right tools or all the right equipment, you can't just sit around and wait for things to just wait and not enjoy things just because you don't have the right tools. Just try them with what you have, and if it doesn't work out the greatest, at least you learn something. You're never going to do something and not learn something about it. Maybe you'll learn that that's not what you want to get into, and you'll be thankful you didn't buy all the tools. Or maybe you'll say, hey, I could have done this a whole lot better with the tools, and now I kind of know why exactly I would want those tools and why I would need them. And maybe I don't need those other tools, so maybe you don't need every tool out there. But because you gave it a go with the bare essentials, you'll know exactly what you need. So you're not buying and consuming all this extra material, and then you turn out you didn't really need it. That is true waste. So trying something new, even if it's in an unideal situation, is still good, guys. Always be optimistic. Keep doing what you're doing. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think about this. Let us know if you've ever had a garden in a very small space or just an unideal bed in the shade like we're probably going to have here in a couple weeks. Let me know. Okay, don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.